Hi. I don't, I'm new to teaching. So today is 314, March 14th, 2022. I saw a little meme today and didn't even think of it until I saw it that it was Pi Day 314. Some people think of the 314 equals pi as 413, 314. I talk about it all the time. However, I had the giggle last night when I was looking it up, and it's actually written PI, So the creator has got a real sense of humor when he shows me things. So even though I was coming here with a plan to talk about certain things, and we're still going to get there, pi is also something else, and it has to do with the tree of life and the Hebrew alphabet. And I know that I said on my little check-in that I want to come here and get an A. But there is no perfect video and there is no perfect explanation, just like there is no perfect person. I'm too hard on myself, and I want my explanation to be so stellar that it leaves people without a question in their mind. But then the creator started telling me, what's in their mind is what's in their mind. You can't force people to believe you, no matter how much proof you show them, and, stuff like that. So, Tree of Life and Pie, you guys. Let's assume Pie is Pie. We've got American Pie, the movie. We all know that, right? I've explained before that Merkava, American Pie, Prince naming his son Amir, all these things go together. But take a look at this for me. I had a slideshow prepared to run on the screen, but can't make it work. Anyway. Right up here at the top. You know how Michael Jackson always singing ABCs, 1, 2, 3s, Prince did Alphabet Street. 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 plus 1 is 4. Okay. If you carry those numbers down in upside down gematria, the 4 can also be a 9 as well as a 6. They all look somewhat the same when they're in motion. Okay. Now, ABC's easy as 1, 2, 3. You see it again. 1 plus 2 is 3. Okay. Now, if you write it side by side, what do you get right in the middle? 33rd degree, right? So 3 plus 1 is 4, which also equals what, you guys? If you flip it right over, oops, sorry, you get pi, P-I-E. Or I'm trying to show you how 413. Now, what that spells is opioid under there, but neither here nor there right this second. So 413, 314, that's today. I know my show and tell is probably the best you've ever seen. But what you guys also see in here is 1914. That's when World War I was, as I've explained. Also, when you add 19 and 14, you also get 33. So that's where the 314 pi equation goes back to, ancient Kabbalistic. I'm going to get you in there some more, but check it out again in case you missed it. Take a screenshot. Real easy. I'll try to refrain from repeating myself. So when the 33rd degree Masons do their calculations, you get 1914, which equals 33, and then 1933 plus 3 is 1939, which World War II was. Okay. So the 314 equals pi isn't just a day like today. It's like everything else that's been set up in our Merkava America. And that is either sang to us, sung, whatever it is, in a way that we won't forget, like the ABCs or, whatever, anything good that you want to put to memory, you can sing. That's how I was able to hear all this music and all this biblical stuff throughout my life, was by listening to the music. So anyway, I promise I'm going to get you guys somewhere. Just hang tight. Now, in the Hebrew Alef Bet, there is 22 consonants. Those are here. One thing you guys want to know, when their letters read, they read from left to right. Okay, so I know you're not going to get all this at once, but I have to explain it to you the basics. So these 22 consonants right here, okay, I cut into little pieces, just like arts and crafts, and I put them on a little storyboard. Isn't that fun? Now, the reason I did that is because this actually goes back to why we have a clock and everything, the way that it's set up. And what I also want you guys to visualize, pardon me, is the Prince love symbol itself, which the round part would be right here. It's a little far out, but the side things go out, and then the the points come up and it goes down. So this is the tree of life, and that's what he was trying to show us in the symbol. And so I'll keep explaining it. But anyway, there is a certain placement to these letters because these letters and numbers are obviously the Hebrew Alef Bet in which the Creator created. He didn't create in English, and he didn't create in Greek, and he didn't create in Latin or Chinese or anything. It was the Hebrew language, and that is this language. Now, in that language, we learn our ABCs here in America as A is A and 1 is 1. The first thing you don't learn your letters and numbers together. You learn your ABCs and your 1, 2, 3s. You know what I'm saying? But in the Alef Bet, all of the I don't know what I did with my little chart. All of the letters have a number equivalent. Okay, just know that. So when the kids over there, they learn their Alef Bet, every letter has a number attached to it. That you don't separate the two. There's no differentiation. So what the 33rd did is, after meditating long and hard, or stealing, I'm not sure. I'm sure there was, I don't know. I'm not here to give you those kind of answers. The language is from the Creator, and because, based on what I've been told, because they were able to access in such a way some intellect in some way, but not this, and not to put it all together in this way that I'm trying to, but stay with me, guys, because I really do have it done. In the Alef Bet, for instance, I'll show you. The Aleph, it may be crude, okay? Check it out. It goes up at the top. It's equivalent to A in our alphabet, in the English alphabet, as well as the 1. So their Aleph was made into A1, okay? Now, before it was made into English, just based on the shape of the Aleph alone, okay, which in Hebrew has no sound. It depends on the letter that you put it next to, I believe. And it's a dormant letter. So anyway, Aleph equals A1, okay? Now, the Aleph starts to take on the shape of various other letters, which I'm not going to get into right now, but I will later. And as do the other, it's kind of hard, you guys, so bear with me. Here we have Aleph. We're supposed to have Bet, which is the B, equal to 2. Gimel, which is equal to 3. Okay, and so on. So except for, to make this a little bit better, you guys, we're going to stick to the first 4, ABCs and 1, 2, 3s. So it's supposed to go Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Dalet. Okay, but the 33rd, because they like to play number swaps and things like that, what they did is, with, as I explained before in the other videos, with the sus2 as purple rain is written in the suspended 2 chord, that is what was done with the tree of life as well. And they did it by skipping the 2, the Bet, the first letter, the Bereshit in the Hebrew Torah. And so that's why I have the other Gimel taped right over the top, because they did a little flipperoo. Okay. The Aleph, when you look up at it, you will be able to see a lot of things. Let me see if I can explain it to you. When these words and these meditations come to me, the Aleph, what happens is, you guys, you know how when you go to the eye doctor, they have you cover one eye and read everything with one eye and one letter at a time. But when you look at these Tree of Life with both the Hebrew letter, the numeric equivalent, and the first letter of the name, like for instance, G is Gimel, okay, but it's equal to 3, but it's also equivalent to a Hebrew name that goes with the Sephirot that it is emanating from. So the G and the C, they make equivalent to each other as well. And again, I'll get you there. My nose, it's just part of me, always does that when I'm down here. The nose knows. Anyway, you guys, the reason for this, let me lay out the reason for this. The Creator explained to me when I was in my life after life that by doing this and creating the gematria and the World War I and the World War II and the 33 themselves, the equivalents always come back to totals, sums that can be divisible by 9. They always come back to 9, 369, which is like the egg and everything else. But so you guys look, it's supposed to go Alef Bet, which is in the red, Gimel Dalet, okay? But Prince wrote the song Purple Rain and has explained all this other stuff to me because the bet was skipped. That's why I wrote it in red. I'm not good at that way. So you can see, you guys, that what you get is EGG or EGG or Bob George. As I've explained, it's GE or GE, which spells out the name George. See, because the D in Dalet and the 4, actually, if you wrote a small d instead of a big D, it would look like 44 or 69 or EA, which is why I have that written down there. Okay. And then guess what they do with Dalet, which is knowledge, the Tree of Life knowledge. They actually made it spell death, DEATH, upside down. So the whole expulsion from the tree of Garden of Eden and awareness, it's not, I mean, it is a physical thing, but it's also very much a intellectual thing. So what I'm getting at, you guys, is check this out. We all played Uno. If you're from Michigan, you play euchre, you play cards, okay? Whoever told you that a 6 and a 9 were different? Nobody ever told you only the suit of the card, right? I know I'm a dork. I know. EGG, Bob George, Biden's Build Back Better. OPI, opioid. Sorry. I get so nervous on here, I swear it. It spells so many things in the upside down gematria, but it's where they get the 33rd degree Masonry, the George Soros, the Dalit, the death, even the, what's it called that the Grim Reaper carries? I don't know what's called, sickle, scythe, something. I don't know. We don't do that stuff around here. Anyway, so by skipping the 2, it has a really deep meaning. I don't want to go out of order. You wouldn't know. Let me go back to this. You wouldn't know that these cards, the 6 and the 9, were different unless it were for the suit, right? Well, think of the suit as the shape of the Hebrew letter, okay? So like this was an early, oops. I correct myself up. Yes, I do. This was an early one. You can see I made the Aleph as well as the 1, but instead of making a capital A, I made a small a. Okay, so what do we see? We see 19, don't we? Just saying. You also can see the kid, K-I-D, king, K-I-N-G, upside down, because what you guys want to remember is because the letters have flow and because they have math behind them, when I see them, they're not physically moving like this, obviously, but you can see, probably Star Wars fans will get it. You know, the letters, they start to spell out different things and become different things. And I've meditated on that for a good long time. And the creator tells me these things. Also, each of the placement of the letters has to do with something I'm not going to get into too much today. But the Tree of Life has Sephiroth. They each are individual emanations of, I believe, to the best of my knowledge, the creators. There are certain personality traits and things that give to us traits about our ancestors and reincarnation and different things like that. But I need to stay where I can explain. And sorry, because my nose tickles. It tickles, I tell you. So each of these have a very specific place, you guys. And it spells out a lot of different stuff, and it gets pretty crazy. I know it sounds kind of matrixy because it is. And the reason is because knowledge, when Eve takes a bite of the apple, the apple, in Genesis 3:6, well, 3 times 6 is 18, okay? And 18 plus 3 is where, even though in Judaism they don't read the book of Revelation, in the Christian Pope and every other Bible across the world, I believe they pretty much do. And in Revelation 13:18 is where it talks about the wisdom of knowing what the 666 is for, which is the egg, which was the plan that I was told about when I passed on 7/20 of 2010. 2 sevens together, 21. Get it? 7, 2, 720, 7, 2, 2 sevens together, and it was 2010, which take away the zeros, it was 21. Okay. Now, anyway, 3 times 6 knowledge is 318. And the way the gematria works, it becomes Revelation 13:18, where they talk about the 666, and that's how it relates back. Now, also what that relates to is Eve. And because of the knowledge, because of the sex, not the biting of the apple, and also with the song being written in the sus2 chord, suspended 2 chord, it's because when you skip the 2s, what year are we in now? 2022. So there's 3 2s, but when you write them with the curly, they're upside down 6s. Okay. So you get the name Eve in curly 6s. And you get George and Bob George and 3 times 18 in Revelation 13:18. And that's how it all goes together. Now, that didn't just happen overnight, you guys. I hope it's not. I mean, I hope you're still with me. I'm trying really hard to go slow, to not rush myself. But it's exactly why Alice in Wonderland says, you're nothing but a pack of cards. You guys, everything that's been done to us has been done by media, religion, TVs, phones, television, skagazines. But before the black magicians, the 33rd, that's all I'm going to call them. Before they could achieve all that, and how they, let me get your attention with something real quick. Let me get back to the upside down ID. I have to keep myself focused. In the song, I Would Die for You. Okay. I'm going to go in order, but this, I got to get this out of my system. As you get towards the, pardon me. Sorry, you guys. As you get towards the last 4 of the Hebrew Alef Bet. Okay, letters 19, 20, 21, and 22. I may not say them right, but they're called Kuf, yeah. Kuf, Resh, Shin, and Tav. Okay, now the Kuf kind of looks like an ID or a PI, doesn't it? It's also letter 19. Don't you guys think that that's strange that we're in COVID-19 when we have sorry, I'm not koof. Anyway, what it is also, you guys, is Prince Rogers Nelson told us through the song I Would Die for You, or excuse me, not I Would Die for You, but the question of you. I'll get there. Hold on. When he wrote it, he was looking at the last four letters. Kuf, Resh, Shin. Let's skip Tav for a minute. The question of you. Now, the reason it's of you is because you is the 21st letter in the alphabet. Okay, so what I got the two songs mixed together. So there was the question of you that brought us here, but that's how he told us I would die for you, you guys, is by these letters. Also, it's one more card and it's 22, you guys, because down here the tav is actually equal to peace in Hebrew. Now, what does the Torah say? They talk about let me watch what I say. Scratch that. In the song, Prince sings Money Don't Matter Tonight, one more card, and it's 22. That's what I'm always referring to, you guys. There's a lot more that goes with this, and I'll get you there, I promise. The reason they say 100, 1, 2, 3, and 4 is because in the Hebrew Alef Bet, these particular letters are equal to 100, 200, 300, and 400. Now, what do you see if you erase the zeros? Because they are zeros. You have, again, pi, okay? There's 3 times in the Hebrew Alef Bet that you can have the 314 equation add up, okay? So stay with me. I went a little out of order, but I'm going to backtrack a little bit. So before they could do that, you guys, think of the word Aleph, A-L-E-F. Now, it was changed to Greek to be alpha, A-L-P-H-A. So with that, the Aleph up there at the top, and then it being our letter A plus our number 1, you can see how when they made the Greek language, they would have taken the A, L, and then the Aleph itself becomes a sideways P, a sideways H, as well as an A. It is equal to 3 strokes. You make it in 3 strokes when you're writing it in Hebrew. So there's 3 strokes to use. That's just one of the things that it means. So that's how they took the Aleph, made it alpha. That's why they do the military language the way they do. And then now we have our A1. Okay. They do that with each of the letters. And when you carry that down, as I made available online, and if anybody wants it for themselves, let me know. You guys may or may not get it the first time, the first 10 times. I'm not sure. I sometimes have to re-explain it to myself. What they did is they took these mixture of letters. I'll show you something important in just a second. So you can see where I made the list. The Aleph is the letter A. It's their letter 1, our letter 1. Okay. The Bet is the 2, it's our 2, and so on. But what they did, you guys, is when they got to the 3, because they skipped the 2, and they do it in upside down backwards gematria, like I explained, Lucy, on the egg video. If you guys ever write something down and then hold it up next to a mirror, you'll see the reflection of it, and then you'll see like the backwards writing. That's how it works. Pretty. Anyway, what's real important to know, you guys, is that they switched out the G's for Bob George there, but also when you get down to the middle where the kaf, the letter K, kaf is, it's the only part, or the first part, where the letter K matches up to our letter K as well as the Hebrew word K-A-F, cough. Kaf. I don't know how you say it. So what do we get, you guys? We get KKK or 11 or so. K is the 11th letter in the English alphabet. And because they all matched up from Hebrew to Greek to English, well, they figured they just carry over the KKK because that's what they do. And it also, you have 11 plus 11 plus 11 in KKK, which equals 33, or upside down Mickey Mouse, BS or EMC squared. So that's where they get that. So you get all the World War I stuff up here the first time they do it with the G, the Bob George. And then they do it again down here with the actual G, which is Zion, the number 7 in the Alef Bet. And then they try to call it like Zion because they made the fake Jewish people, I hope you guys know what I was saying there. Please rewind if you thought I was saying anything offensive. What I'm saying is there's a fake, very thick false reality out there, and it's covered with the KKK and the NWO and the false Zion because of the way these words break down. There is real and true Hebrew Judaism, and then there is 33rd degree occultic masonry, which you guys, this isn't anything that I looked up in a book. I just want to let you know I say with all humility and peace in my heart to you, it is directly from the Creator, because I passed away, because my life and soul purpose it is connected with Him and being like Eve and stuff like that. It's a trip. I know it's a trip, and I don't apologize for it anymore. What I also want you to know is when you get down here to the bottom, I told you I'd have to go slow because I even have to remind myself, you guys, when you get to the bottom where the question of you is at, and then you see that tab is equal to peace, and it's also 22. Well, if you flip over the word tav, seek peace, it's VAT or KAT. Yes, that's right. It gives you the word Vatican. And it's no wonder that it is mixed up with the 777 that's spoken about there. And what is it? 424, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. Yeah, Genesis 4:24. Lamech says to his wives that he was going to get 7 times 77 revenge, which is 3 times 7, which is pi, which is 21, which is today. I'm not saying anything's happening today. I'm saying I have these things noted down. It's a part of the breakdown. It just is. Hopefully I'm doing the explanation justice, but I'm not done by far. Now, these are the things that I wrote down. I had this all typed up, but I ran out of ink today. It's always some fun stuff. Gosh. Now, when you sit back and look at that, okay, and you guys, I want you to visualize that in the top portion of the love symbol. The B2 part wouldn't be there, but that is where they get their crude jokes. Like I said, the D, the dot, the knowledge, if it was a small d, it would look like a EA or a 6-9, which is the European Union, or it actually 6-9 actually spells out egg as well, because it actually gives you 3 6s, which I've explained before. But also the B2, the bet there kind of looks like the hangman thing that Prince drew in when he was doing the little thing on Graffiti Bridge. It's why they drew the thing that looked like the hangman while they were guessing the letters. It also gives us the acronym BJ for you know what. It all goes back to sex. It's the Aleph spells out Adolf. It's a lot of things, you guys. Now, also what you'll see in the bet is when you look at it as numerics, you'll see 1, 3, 2. Don't look at it as a B. Look at it as a 1 and a 3, because that's what it is, and a 2. Okay. How many letters do we have in our English alphabet? 26. So 13 times 2 is 22, and that's what year we're in. But what I'm saying is, I'm sorry, 26. But what I was seeing, the 2 upside down and backwards, is the 6 in my head. My bad. Anyway, back to the AI in the middle in the 77 times 7, because the Aleph itself is written in 3 strokes. The big black line goes down first, and then the one at the top that kind of looks like a 7, and then the one at the bottom that kind of looks like a 7 is also where they get the swastika. It's all an insult to the Father. It's the name Ein, A-I-N, which is one of the Hebrew names of the Master of the universe, the one and only, the one. Now, when you look at this and you visualize it and it gets to spinning, that's also where they get the name JJ off What's Happening. Man, they get the name of cigarettes, everything out of here. It's like mind-blowing. But this is what's really important, you guys, is where the real legions have, and the masonry and the occult and you know, the ugly in the world that I don't like talking about, but we have to. And if you don't acknowledge them, it's just as bad as participating with them. So in this explanation, the Aleph becomes, see it as a spinning Aleph. It becomes N/A, as in not applicable. Okay. The not applicable, pardon. See, when it's spinning, then becomes a check mark. You guys may not be able to see it readily, but I'm going to tell you instead of playing show and tell all the time. But anyway, so then the not applicable shortened becomes just a V with an elongated thing on it. Okay, that's where we get check or okay. Okay. Then when they spin it upside down, you guys, if you think of what I have written here as this A, as a small old-fashioned A, it also spells out 21. Okay, so when these words are spinning, it becomes VATICAIN. Okay, but instead of making it CAIN with the Genesis 4:24, 77 times 7, 21 revenge type thing spoken about, they called it the Vatican, CON. Okay. Now, when you look at the word CON, you can see when all you have to do is shorten and elongate. It's why our English alphabet was taught in capitals and lowercase letters, so that these letters could be formed and so that we would never see them. Now, because there are 3 strokes in the Aleph, and if you turn it on its side while suspending, like I showed you guys before, how it spelled out kid and king, when you use the when you consider that the Sephiroth that it's equated to is Keter, okay, your brain, the all-knowing Insof, okay, they also will make the A1 into a K, but because that's Keter, they turn that, they call themselves, they think that they're the one. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's been sold to the world through language, churches, schools, universities. It's why people in Dubai write education programs for Yale and colleges and everywhere else across the United States. I'm not being racist in any of my statements, because when I stood in heaven, the one thing that I believe in is a soul, a good, clean, shiny soul. So anybody who has a good, clean, shiny soul probably wouldn't be offended at my words. Anyway, they make that into the KKK. So there's more. I'm trying to show you guys. If you write it like this, it's where ACDC. You skip the 2. That's why I have it's ABCD 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, very easy as pie, right? But you get ACDC because it's 314 equals pi, and it goes forward and backwards, just like the lie that they're trying to sell us on of the egg. Okay, you have to watch the egg video too. I have to be careful about what I say, because though I know it's my sole purpose to share this information, I don't know. I just try to be really careful about it because I don't want it to be in the wrong hands and for people to misuse it. And, but I know that the creator is in control and he wouldn't have me sitting here if that's not what he wanted. So I'll just chillax. When you take the name King David, which this also represents King, do you see how the I and the small a, when you write it with the shorter, can be it's upside down like a small n? It's king. Okay. It also spells out the name David, which I showed you guys the other day. Maybe I didn't. Just a second. Sorry. When you take the name and you write King David, and then instead of the big D, you write a small d, and you write the little slash there in the middle. When you get into the gematria, what you get into is that the G is the 3, the slash is the 1, the P or the thing, and then the small d is the small d down here, which actually is the 314 God. It also spells out pride. I know it sounds like a mouthful, but that's what I was told. And part of this plan was that name was being taken out of the world. That's really all I can say about that right now. So the name David is also, let me show you guys something. Take a look, please. When you take the name David and you write it that way, D-A-V-I, and then you break apart the D as in the, the Kuf that we are in now, the 1-9, like I showed you guys on here, right here. It's like an upside down D, a small d, or a P. And on here, when you take the name David and it's 1-9, ID 1-9, it's also Da Vinci, who the Vatican is known to keep many secrets on. Okay. So again, you guys have explained that the AI becomes 21 and also artificial intelligence. It's the 3 times 7 revenge spoken about in Genesis 4:24. The 3 sevens are visible in the Aleph itself. And that the bigger insult is that the one more card and it's 22 is that it's the upside down, who cat. It's also where they get T minus 10, T minus 2 in counting, T minus whatever in counting is where they get that. And that's where Prince would always say cat. That's where they got it from. So it's always one more card is 22. So disguise is light. I discussed with you guys before, it's very important to know that the name King David, in Hebrew is spelled Dalet Vav Dalet. Now, Dalet Vav Dalet. Now, what I want you guys to see is that the Hebrew letter itself looks like a 7. The Vav kind of looks like a 7. The Hey kind of looks like a 17. Zion kind of looks like a 7 also. Okay. These are the 7s that he was singing about when he was singing about all 7 and will watch them fall. Okay. Because they look like 7. So when he meditated on the tree of life and these type of things, this is what he was talking about. So Dalet Vav Dalet is the name David. Okay. It's 3 times 7. Revenge spoken about in 4:24. The Aleph, the 1 told us. So that's super imperative to know, you guys, because also you'll see that numerically the Vav is equivalent to 6 in Hebrew. So when those, would look into this and meditate, that's where the 1776 came from in the Declaration of Independence, because 1776 equals 21. Pardon me, 21, 3 times 7. 1777 obviously equals 22. I mean, yeah, no, that's right. So, yeah, 21 plus 1 is 22. Sorry, all the numbers in my head. And it's written right here on my paper. So I said in the gematria, we don't want the 22 because they skipped the 2. And when it came back around, it would be 666. Because in small b's, it would be 666, just like building, I can't even say their names, Biden's Build Back Better BJ. Know what I'm saying? Sorry. Anyway, also, you guys, I've explained this before, but I'll hit on it again. When you write A, B, C, D, the Aleph itself, when you can't write it that way, or when you're writing it cursive, you make a C-I. You write a C and an I in cursive. It's just the way it goes. Check it out. I have the little kids learning thing right here. And when you make the Aleph in the box, do you see where it says right at the top? If you're making a block letter, you make it kind of like an X. If you're doing it cursive, you can make an IC. Okay? A girl does her homework. Now, because of that IC, when they do the ABCDs like that, there's sus in the 2. Okay, that's skipped. That's why it's not there. So you have that this A becomes CIA, and this D in David becomes CIA. It's a CIA cat. Just saying. NASA, NATO. Listen to the Prince lyrics. They're all in there. I mean, also gives us the I before E except after C rule, because they don't want us to get accustomed to looking at words that went CIA, because then we would have more readily seen this, even though there was a really funny meme online today that had a bunch of words spelled with the E before. Anyway, the 1776, you guys, is how, when I was in my life after life, what the creator had told me is that we've been sold on evolution. It's like, what's the song called? Nobody cares. See a rock on the shore. Nobody cares. You know that one. I can never think of the lyrics when I'm sitting here. It takes us back to year 13 equals love. Check it out. Evolution. They want us to believe in evolution, that we've been around doing this for all these years and these things are just gradual and they're happening and this and that, when actually time has been real twisted, and we've been sold on the fact that nobody seems to want to believe that the creator is capable, or I don't know why they wouldn't want to believe that he exposed himself through music or through well, I don't know who anybody is to judge anyway in which he would expose himself. My question to you would be, how do you want him to expose himself? So anyway, he told me when I was there that it was done through the breakdown of Merkava. It's why he named his son Amir, to bring it all to our attention. It's why he was supposedly married on 2/14/99 as 2 sevens together, upside down 666. But let me show you guys something real quick. Pi not only goes with everything else that I already showed you, but I'm going to just say this because it's going to be part of my life story and your life story. My birthday, 12/19/70. This year will be 12/19/1970. Okay. So 12/19/1970. You take this 2 and this 7 and you add them. You have 19/19/19, which is PI. Same as here. Okay. Same as pi. Same as pi. Guess what else? My son was born on 9/30/03 at 12:12 a.m. 33 if you do it backwards, 21, 21. He weighed 8 pounds, 13 ounces. Now, as you can see at the bottom, it says 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3, because that's us. There's a plan. What the evil in the world wanted to do with that plan was sell us this plan that America was this, that, and that. Like with the lyrics, it says they build you up just to watch you fall. Because this world that we live in is dark, and because in 424 there was, revenge promised on a lineage of people, and that lineage of people is now 246 years old. No empires known to last longer than that. And let me show you guys a couple of mathematics here if you're still second guessing what I'm saying. When you add 1776 and 1914, you get 3,690, which is 369, which also spells egg. Okay? I did this calculation with 2021, 3690, take away 2021 because I did it last year, equals 1669 is egg. Okay? 1669 plus 1669 equals 3,338, which, because of the way gematria works, they can make a 1 with the 3 and then a 1 with the 8. It's the 13, 18, 666 again. So all of the mathematics that go along with our Declaration of Independence, and let me remind you again, in case you missed it earlier, 19 plus 14 equals 33. George, it's where they pull it all out. It's why they use George Washington. It's why they use George Floyd at the beginning of the whole. And it goes on and on and on. I want to show you something within the name Bob George, the way that things work to me. It's why we have Shrek the Ogre, because ORGE is orgy. Okay, it's just the way that it works, you guys. It's not my mind. It's what the creator shows me. It's why within 1999, if you take that and you use the 1999 upside down spinning gematria, it's why it spells out the word Bible, BIBLE. It also has the AI, the 21. It also spells out lie, AI, lie. Flip it upside down and it spells Apple. It's why the first Apple computer went on sale for $666.66. Look it up. It's, again, Biden's Build Back Better. Now, the 16, the 19 that they use to the coof here, it's every ICR number in the Prince investigation file starts with 16. They're all coded out because it just is, it's all part of it. Another relevant thing, you guys, is the way that they use the vowels. When I say they, you know who I'm talking about. Talking about the Pope, Cat, the ones I've just described to you, and I'm talking about Kingdom Hall. All of them, actually. Now, I've explained this to you before, but I'm going to do it again. They take the Hebrew vowels, that spell out the name that the Kingdom Hall uses as the name of that's what they sold that Prince was and became in 2003 and went knocking door to door. That's a bunch of BS, you guys. It's just another lie. And part of the reason for that lie is because, they spell out that name with the vowels that they're not supposed to say by doing all this stuff. I don't need to get too far in it, but you're not supposed to say that name, first of all. And also, what I forgot to say earlier is with our alphabet having 26 letters, which was the 13 times 2 that I talked about here, what had happened was obviously they added W, X, Y, and Z, because when you go through the one where I showed you where I match up all the letters, this one, when you go through all the letters and you do the mathematics and then the one more card and it's 22, well, then you're all good to go. But then when you get down here to our alphabet to make these things happen, W, X, Y, and Z were added. Now, when you add up 23, 24, 25, and 26. It totals 818, which is 17, or 187, which we all know what that means. DOA, 187, murder. It's also this in the egg, the Paisley Park egg video that I showed you, that the tree spells out 7 18s. When you do the whole tree out this way and you calculate it with the numbers, it does a bunch of different things depending on if you do it this way or you do it their way or you do it upside down mirror way. However, if you do the one side, it adds up to 14 or 16, and the other one spells 19. So it's all in there is what I'm trying to say. I know you're not going to get it all the first time around, but I'm happy to go slower, or, I don't know, maybe someday. I don't know. Anyway, when they added the W, X, Y, and Z, you guys, it actually spells out the word witches or witnesses. And how you see the W, the X, which we all see on our floors these days, which is, is an I and a T, okay, W-I-T, and then C, and then that becomes the H, and then this goes on its side, and it spells out witches and witnesses. That's why they had all the witnesses at the scene. Anyway, you guys, let's see, I put 13 times 2, 26 alphabet letters. They can cast more spells with words, math, and your apathy. You guys, also, let me tell you, I don't want to be redundant because I mentioned this in some of the other videos. In the Jewish New Year of Yom Kippur that we just had, it went from the year 5781, which equals 21, to the year 5782, which equals 22 as well. Along with the 22 in the thing that we talked about, Vatican Cane over here. Okay. Now, what's important to know is when you add 21 and 22, you guys, you also get 4, 3, and then you carry the 1 over. It's 4, 3, 1. So 4, 3, 1 plus 3, 1, 4 equals 808 as well, which brings us back to the 1, 6, the kuf, the upside down ID. So it goes on, you guys. He told me that that's how it started way back there with the ancient tree of life, and the way that it breaks down. It's why the song Breakdown was chosen in 2013 to introduce us to the fact that our country is, like in the hourglass, and it's time that we recognize who our real king is, because nobody was supposed to know this information, but he gave it to us. He gave it to me to give to you guys, and I'm very, very serious about it. It's so that you can correct your soul. It's so that you can know that he's coming. It's so that you can pray. It's so that you can know that the falsehood that the world has been trapped under is not what the world is. It's only so that when you, God forbid, on Redemption Day, you have to answer for everything you do, what you are, what you believe, why you made the choices that you made. And nobody was going to be given this information, but I said that wasn't fair. And somebody, even if it only changes 1 or 2 or 5 lives, I want it to change every single life out there, because I just do. But I understand also that how jarring to the ego this stuff can seem, and how foreign, and how you can be led to question me, because the evil Yetzirah, he's not just working on me, he's working on you to question what I'm saying, to question what you might have been taught your entire life. But it's hard to question the truth when it's looking right at you in the face, and it's going to be even harder on Redemption Day. So please think long and hard about the things that I'm saying, and if they make sense or not. Now, something that I'm always touching on, you guys, is Maui. I am. It's the word I am. I am. You just take this part of the A and make it a small u. It's 808. It's what the 431 plus 134 totals. Okay. Oh, sorry. That's my my breakdown. When the contract was signed for the when Prince was said to have re-signed with Warner Brothers on 12/31/12. Well, that too adds up to 431 equals 134, but I wasn't there yet, as well as the 187. So that's not what I meant to pick up. I am the Maui, the 808. It's where I want to be careful about what I say because I don't really know, only to the best of my memory. When I was in my life after life, and I was walking and talking, strolling with the creator, and he told me that, like the island of Dr. Moreau, Planet of the Apes type stuff, that there was a lot of genetic type experiments there that, as I touched on before, the wars with the kings, the land stolen, called it American, and raised sugar cane. Just saying. And practice holographics. That's what I'm getting at. There's also some kind of electricity, water. I believe it has to do with the pyramids at one point, and then what they do underwater. People, they make it think it's like Atlantis was a long time ago, but there's actually much to do under the water now, and space travel and different things. And that's why there's always sightings out in Maui and places like that where they think that they can hide. But it's because AI is real. They've been harnessing and using intellectual property to achieve these things by way of the creator allowing them to. It's why we have CERN trying to recreate that energy in Switzerland. It can't and won't be done. And it's a lot of electricity, you guys. And then he also told me that he would make sure that I went to Maui, which I told you guys he did. I went in August of 2019 for 2 weeks, meditated under Orion, 42,000 feet beneath the sea. I mean, Orion is 42,000 feet above, and then the sun 42,000 feet above the sea. That's where you and I came to be. That's what I meant to say. Also totals 6. Why lie to us about all this stuff, you guys? Why? Because if the truth were told, think about this. There's just some thoughts off the top of my head. Think about, even if you never had before, only for a minute, think about how sellable sex is. Gajillion dollars. God forbid sex trafficking and all the horrible things. Bringing down women, making them question themselves and hate each other, and I don't know, do what to keep their men. I'm not sure. I mean, I am sure because I used to do things like that, but that's a different story. But also, you guys, the good part of this is, like, think about it. None of us, like, when I stood there in heaven, I said, why all the lies? But then the lies came because of the things that were created with the falseness of what they did with the occult and the black twisted Aleister Crowley, which is actually A-lister crowd. You guys know who Holly Weird is. I don't have to explain all that stuff to you. That's not my story. But it's even weirder than you thought, is what I mean to say. And he told me that after I went out to Maui and got attached, that all these different things would be happening to me and that I would be able to hear, and I have been able to hear, and it just gets more clear and more clear and more clear every time. But you guys, sorry, sometimes I lose my thought. The I am, is equal to 1 a.m. in military time. Again, the Hebrew to Greek to English, I am, is 1 a.m. And down here, when you have 13 is equal to 1 a.m., like the 314 equals pi, okay, it actually spells out Islam in upside down gematria. So it's a very scary thing to think about a lot of these things together. Some people might wonder why I'm willing to come here and talk about them. But again, as I said before, don't wonder, because I am a representative of the creator, of the I am. I just am. So I don't worry about any type of fear, anything. So, and you guys, you shouldn't either. That, I mean, when your number's up, your number's up. But I don't know. I'm trying to stay on track. What I mean to say, you guys, is by creating all those things, to what I want to get across to you guys, because it's real important, is the name Cain, Cain. If you look at it in a different kind of writing, it's also Lain. And what I was told in Lahaina, out in Maui, is this hiding place. They do a lot of creepy type things there, and the Pope uses it as a hiding place. They were using Harbor Lights Condominium Association within the last year or two to practice, I believe, holographic lights from. I have some writings about it, and that's another story too. But Lahaina is a lie in Maui, and you guys, you'll come to know these things. I know that the world wants to believe the media hype that, I mean, I don't do media, but with the war in Ukraine and things like that going on, it's all very strange. I don't really follow that stuff because I don't do war. But I do know that 1318, the 666, is in Hebrew. Back here, you can see that 13 is equal to love and 18 is equal to life. So why do we have, of course, in Judaism we don't, but in Christianity and every other Bible, the Revelations 13:18, or 3 times 6 Eve knowledge, when that took place in Genesis 3:6, 3 times 6, 18, 3 times 18, 31, is the reverse of love and life. Okay. It's a plan, you guys. Let me show you something. Look at the word breakdown. Break down. Okay. So I wrote the D backwards, and I did that because of the name David. Now, within that, BR, you can see 13, 12, 31, 21. See it as a 13 and a 12, not as a B and R. In the middle, you have EA, which is 66, or the X Center, which is in right there across the street from Paisley Park, or Recasto. Okay, that's why he wrote Recasto. 6669 is 666. Now, also with the word breakdown, with the D backwards, what do you see? First of all, NWO. But also by writing that D backwards, you get the word clown. Okay, it's where they get it. So if you cover up the NWO and you have a CL, then if you tip it over, it looks like a TI, which is where they get it. I'm telling you, absolutely everything that we've been taught in this world goes back to this. Now, it's why he went on Arsenio on 314 and announced Breakdown as his favorite song. That was not actually Prince Rogers Nelson. That was the lookalike. Nelson Prince R. Nelson. That's another show. But that's how they do all these things, you guys. Now, I won't get into the DNA sequencing. Seems a little much. I had all this on a slideshow, so bear with me just a second. Some of it I can't explain without the slideshow. This is just an explanation of what I've already explained on the board. Oh, I know what I want to share with you guys, though, for realsies, is that, alien. The word alien is A-lie-in. A-L-I-E-N. A-I. Okay? A-lie-in. Now, when you take the year 2020, 2021 and 2022, this is very, very important, and you add them, you're going to get, I can't see, 663. 663. Okay. Now, what does that spell? Egg, George, both ways, GE or GE. Also, if you add it the other way, because when there's duplicate, I can't really explain it. Sorry. When you add the same 2020, 21, 22, and you do it upside down, you can get 943, which is, of course, the time that they tried to say the 911 call was. So, oh, I know, because the 6, the 9, and the 4 are the same. That's why. So it ends up being 643 or 943. It's just what it is. I sure hope that you guys were able to follow a bit. This is programming. It's in the Alice in Wonderland book. It's in our cards. It's in our, like, I don't know what else I can say. You guys, when you sus to, skip to, if you listen to Purple Rain and you listen and you play the chords, there's 4. It's like B flat 4 and B flat G and B flat F and then E. And then he does that. So if I'm not mistaken, that's where the suspended 2 chord is, because it holds and it suspends the last 2 chords of the 8 count. So if you're wondering what that means, I'm pretty sure that's what it means. Even though I know how to play it, I don't know why I know how to play it. I mean, yes, I do, but anyway, the suspended 2 brings us to 2022, which is what we're in now. By skipping the 2 3 times, bend down 1 time, bend down 2 times, never going back again. He told me that this plan was to break him down and to do this whole thing over again. And I said, no, bump that. Let's not do that. If I can help. And he called all these souls to be there on the day that I died, and all these various things happened that I talk about elsewhere. And then somehow, some way, well, because of who I am and because of lineage and the last name, and again, with my son and I's birthday, I was told that we were all going to, complete this thing. And again, that the real con in this world, anything that goes against good is my enemy. Anything that isn't true is my enemy. Anybody that lies to my face is my enemy. I don't lie. I'm everyone's friend. I'm honest. I'm true. I'm loyal. You'll never find anyone as unique as me. I promise you that. Or as wonderful as my Pride family. My 18-year-old son, Isaiah, my 3 beautiful daughters, Audrey, Brittany, and Vanessa, and their 9 offspring, Paisley, Spring, Elin, Indigo, Lennox, Ember, Willow, Nimke, and Taylor. That is a mouthful. I went into grandma mode. I couldn't really remember. I mean, it takes me a minute. That's 9 names. It's a blessing. And we're all here to complete our course. I'm trying to help you guys find your soul purpose as I share mine with you, by making you realize that I know what I want to say, that the sus 2 is, if you take the word sus 2, which I had here somewhere, let me just do it for you real quick. Now, a lot of times I write upside down and backwards. It's just the way that I see. Okay. I did the S's backwards because it's mirror writing. I can do it the other way too. Sus 2. Okay. See how sometimes the 2 can be a flat 2. And if you flip it over, it can look like a 7. Or sometimes the 2 can be a curly 2, which can be a 6 or a small a. It's how it works. But what it also looks like is a J sus. J sus. That's why pi is made to spell 316 as well. And that's why Prince Rogers Nelson sang to us about Old Man Johnson's farm, 316, because it is the opposite of truth. It's what the Vatican Cane 77 times 7 revenge wanted you to believe, so that you would in fact be putting all your hopes on a false savior. Okay. There is only one God, Adonai Elohim Emet. Okay. He showed himself to us in the form of Prince Rogers Nelson in this world. He just did. He showed himself to us in all other kinds of forms. Da Vinci, King David, were all reincarnated. The evil didn't believe that I would come here and say who I am, because, I mean, who has, I do, and I will. And I'm going to keep working harder and harder and harder to bring the truth to the world. I'm going to tell the truth about the opioid crisis, all the blessed souls that I know that died, how I overdosed, how opioids were made, in fact, to be a synthetic god, how my family doctor, as I told you guys before, has everything to do with the death investigation, why the fire trucks were there first, why Dr. Schulenberg was shown carrying one of those meth masks, okay? Opioids. That's why I died. And it's why so many people I know that died, and it's a huge thing in the world. And we're going to talk about that in another video. But man, I pray you guys got something out of this video, because you have to know. You have to know who your enemy is, and you have to know how shiny your soul is and how important it is to the Creator. And until you can recognize in some way how loving He is and how He gave Himself to us in so many ways, and was used and abused in so many ways, every time you do dirty, nasty, trickery, lies, stealing, gross sex, and just horrible things that, shouldn't, you got to ask yourself this. Don't say WWJD, because that's the last four letters there of the alphabet. You know what I'm saying, that they added. Ask yourself what your Creator, who infiltrated your soul with His holy divine DNA, would do. Ask your inner voice what you want you to do. Are you making the right choice? Or are you making the wrong choice? Because He is going to show Himself, you guys. And even if it's not while I'm walking this earth and it's just slightly after, it's cool with me. Even if nobody believes me while I'm sitting here breathing, it's cool with me. It doesn't change the truth. My fervent prayer is truly that you guys get it. You know what I mean? Hit me up, leave your email. I will send you these documents on your own email, so that you can examine them. It might take you a couple times to watch it. I do have it in printed, format. Just don't have any ink, so I can email it to you. And we're all going to continue to learn together, because this isn't by far the final answer, but it's getting us there. And I'm trying my hardest. And other than all you shiny souls out there that matter to me, Hashem matters to me, and I matter to me, and all the little animals matter to me. The poor little cat that I picked up off the street and moved off the side of the street today matters to me. So I'll be back time and time again, shining as bright as I can in this dark time that we find ourselves in. I'm going to bring the light, and you guys are going to understand. You're going to understand how much. Love you. I'm going to go. My cat's meowing at the door. You can probably hear it. All right. Okay. Bye. Thank you.